That's what stuck with me. Not the actual words, not the smug smirk on her sister's face, not even the disingenuous. "It's not personal, babe."
No.
It was her calmness, the icy stillness in her voice as she ended everything. I had built that company from nothing, starting on a cracked garage floor with her father. 14-hour days. No weekends. Cold takeout dinners and missed birthdays. But that morning, in the boardroom we once dreamed of building, I wasn't her partner. I was dead weight. A liability. "A man like you holds women back," her sister spat, full of venom. This was the same sister who once begged me for extra paid leave, who used to cry during budget meetings she didn't understand. Now, she stood tall, emboldened by power she hadn't earned. I nodded once,
Stood.
buttoned my jacket, and walked out. Their laughter echoed behind me like smoke in a burning room. But I didn't slam the door.
Didn't yell.
Didn't even look back. Because they didn't know what was hidden inside the paperwork. Not yet. They thought I was the fool. The background man. The silent partner who never chased the spotlight. It was easy to forget where it all began. Who saved the company during the first crash? Who landed the overseas investor that paid salaries for half a year? Who wrote the very bylaws they never bothered to read? Her betrayal didn't arrive like a dagger. It came wrapped in silk, quiet, cold, and elegant. She used words like progress, restructure, and vision. She made it sound like removing me was a win for feminism. But it wasn't feminism. It was greed, dressed in lipstick and heels. And I had known. For months. The whispers. The secret meetings. The late nights at her sister's apartment. I didn't confront her. Because silence, when planned, roars louder than any accusation. I started documenting everything. I wasn't the man who shouted. I was the man who recorded every meeting, who traced emails through metadata, who reviewed every contract line by line, especially the one she signed the day we got married. She didn't read it. She just smiled and said, "Of course I trust you." Of course she did. Tucked deep within the founder's agreement, one paragraph. Quiet. Unassuming. A contingency clause for unjust removal of a co-founder. It triggered full ownership reversion if activated. Legally binding. Signed by a lawyer. Signed by her father. He called it smart business. Business is war, he said. Always plan for betrayal, even from blood. He never imagined it would be his own daughter. When I left the office that day, I didn't go home. I went to my lawyer, opened the secure vault, pulled out that document like a blade, and waited. The next morning, the call came. Her father's voice trembled like a fault line. "Tell me this is a mistake." It wasn't. I sent him the contract. No words. Just the PDF. By noon, I was copied on an email. Subject: urgent. Emergency board meeting, violation of Clause 9.3.1. Clause 9.3.1. Insubordination and unjust removal of a founding partner. Penalty: automatic forfeiture of controlling shares. Full restoration of executive authority to the ousted founder. They had signed it. Both of them. Page 47. Bottom right corner. They never made it past page 12. When they entered the boardroom that day, the confidence was gone. Her sister looked like she hadn't slept. My wife looked like she was about to break. I was already sitting at the head of the table.
Calm.
Unmoving. I didn't rise. Didn't smile. Just slid the original contract across the table. No words. No anger. Just paper. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Her sister tried, blaming, deflecting, accusing. This is sabotage. This is patriarchal abuse. I leaned back in the chair I earned over 20 years of sacrifice and finally spoke. "You fired me without cause. That activated the clause. You signed it. This isn't sabotage. This is stupidity." Silence. Even her father said nothing. Finally, she whispered, "Why would you do this to me?" I tilted my head, looked her dead in the eye. "You didn't read the fine print when I gave you power. Now you've lost it. And me." Then I pulled out the divorce papers, pre-signed, prepared months in advance, and placed them in front of her. She reached for me. Too late. Everything she thought she controlled gone. 2 weeks later, I left the company. Sold my shares. Dissolved the board. Gave her the title, but not the foundation. She owns the building, but not the blueprint. Let her wear the crown, it's hollow now. Somewhere in a locked drawer, that contract still sits. Her signature etched in ink. Dated. Sealed. Proof that arrogance and ignorance are a deadly combination. She thought she fired a pawn. Too bad, she married the king.